When you think of the Taj Mahal, you probably think ultimate symbol of love, right? But what if I told you the story behind that gleaming white marble? Well, it's a lot more complex and honestly, a lot darker than the fairy tale we all know. Let's dig in and see what's really going on.
So, is it this perfect monument to love, or is there something else at play? We're going to really challenge that simple idea today, because this is a story about some serious, profound grief, an obsession that just takes over, and yeah, the hidden costs of making something so incredible. All right, so first things first, let's start with the story we all grew up with. The one that turned the Taj Mahal into this global icon of romance. Yeah, you can just picture it, right? This glowing white masterpiece sitting on the banks of the Yamuna River. It's built as the ultimate tribute to a perfect love. A powerful emperor, totally heartbroken that his wife died, decides to build a tomb so beautiful that no one would ever forget it. It sounds like the perfect, timeless love story. But is it really? Because this is where things take a turn. The real story, it doesn't just start with love. It starts with a loss so unbelievably devastating that it completely shattered an emperor. And that's what kicked off one of the most massive, extravagant building projects in all of history. This is the moment, right here, where grief spirals into a full-blown obsession. And this quote really says it all. The monument wasn't some calculated plan. It was this gut reaction, a visceral, emotional response. The Taj Mahal is literally the physical shape of a completely broken heart. And the man himself, Shah Jahan, wow. The change was just night and day. Before his wife, Mumtaz Mahal, died, he was this powerful, commanding emperor, totally in charge. But after, he was like a shadow of his former self. People literally described him as a grieving ghost just haunting his own court. And I mean, this change was dramatic, and it was fast. We have eyewitness accounts from back then that say his hair and beard turned completely snow white, like in a matter of days. His whole powerful presence, gone. It was replaced with this deep, deep sadness that eventually hardened into this one single, all-consuming obsession. He had to build a monument worthy of his queen. Okay, so as this obsession starts to become a real thing, as the marble and precious stones start going up, a much darker side of the story starts to bubble up to the surface. And these are some pretty dark rumors that honestly have stuck around to this very day. So you've got this wonder of the world being built. It's incredible. But you have to ask, what was the true cost of all this? It's the kind of question that history books sometimes kind of skip over. But the whispers, the rumors, they suggest the price was absolutely staggering. And these whispers, they've been around for centuries. People say the project was so huge, it literally drained the entire empire's bank account, that thousands of workers were forced into silence. But the most chilling rumor, the one that gives you goosebumps, is that after the Taj was finished, the main architects just disappeared, vanished from the records, to make sure nothing this beautiful could ever be built again. Now look, is there concrete proof for all these claims? Not really. It's pretty scarce. But the legends themselves are powerful enough to totally change the story, right? All of a sudden, the Taj Mahal isn't just a monument to love anymore. It's also this mind-blowing display of an emperor's absolute power, and the silent monument to all the unspoken sacrifices that were made to build it. But wait, because the story isn't over. There is one last, truly tragic twist. After everything he did, Shah Jahan's own end was just the ultimate irony. A heartbreaking final act, spent trapped in a gilded cage. Get this, in this unbelievably cruel twist of fate, Shah Jahan was actually overthrown and thrown in prison by his own son, Aurangzeb. Can you believe it? The man who commanded an entire empire was suddenly a prisoner in his own fort. And not just for a little while, for 8 long years. He was stuck in his rooms in the Agra fort. And the worst part? From his window, he had this perfect, gut-wrenching view of the very monument he had poured his entire soul into. I mean, can you even imagine that kind of torment? Seeing your life's greatest achievement, this tribute to the love of your life, every single day, but you can't get anywhere near it. It was basically a beautiful prison with a view of his own heart. And that's pretty much how his life ended.
The legend goes that in his final moments, he was just gazing across the river at the Taj Mahal, this glowing memory of a life and a love that he could never, ever return to.
So, okay, when you put all the pieces together, the love, the incredible grief, the obsession, the dark rumors, and that tragic ending, what we're left with is a legacy that is just so much more complicated. It's way, way more than a simple fairy tale.
And that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? I mean, the Taj Mahal is still, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful things ever built by human hands. But now that you know the full story, the all-consuming obsession, the dark rumors, the tragic ending, does that change what it symbolizes for you? Maybe it's not just a monument to love. Maybe it's really a monument to the incredible and, yeah, sometimes terrifying power of human emotion itself.